Something is shifting in the fabric of your reality right now, and you can feel it, can't you? That strange electric charge running through your nervous system, that pressure building behind your third eye, that inexplicable knowing that the person you were yesterday is dissolving into someone you don't quite recognize yet. On January 21st, 2026, as the Sun at 1 degree Aquarius forms an exact conjunction with Mercury at the same degree, while both align with Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius, a stellium portal cracks open in the cosmos, not to shift your circumstances, but to reconstruct your entire identity at the cellular level. This is not a transit you observe from a distance. This is a cosmic intervention happening inside your consciousness right now. Rewiring your thoughts, reshaping your voice, dissolving the masks you've worn to survive in a world that never truly understood you. Your soul chose to be alive for this exact alignment because something ancient within you is ready to be remembered, something powerful is ready to be spoken, something forbidden is ready to emerge from the shadows of who you pretended to be. This message finds you because your frequency is already entangled with the transformation unfolding, because your energy field recognized the cosmic signature of this stellium before your mind could name it, because you are one of the souls marked for complete reinvention starting today. Before we go deeper into this awakening, if you're already feeling the intensity building in your chest, the thoughts accelerating in your mind, the pull toward a version of yourself you've never met, leave a like and subscribe so the universe knows you're ready for these activations. And drop a comment saying, "I claim my Aquarius awakening," to lock in this frequency. Let's dive in. The Aquarius stellium of January 21st, 2026 is not simply 3 planets occupying the same sign. This is a cosmic convergence at the threshold degrees of Aquarius, the most electrically charged, revolutionary consciousness-elevating sign in the zodiac. The Sun, representing your core identity and life force, Mercury, governing your mind, communication and perception, and Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth and transformation, are aligning in perfect synchronicity at 1 to 3 degrees of the water-bearer's domain. When these 3 cosmic forces merge in Aquarius, they create what astrologers call a fusion point. A moment when separate energies collapse into a single concentrated beam of evolutionary power, aimed directly at your sense of self. Aquarius is the sign of the rebel, the innovator, the truth speaker, the one who sees beyond the matrix of collective programming and dares to live according to a different frequency. This is the energy of breaking chains, shattering limitations, speaking truths that society has labeled as dangerous, and embodying a version of yourself so authentic that it makes other people uncomfortable because it reminds them of the freedom they've been too afraid to claim. And today, with the Sun illuminating your conscious awareness, Mercury activating your mental body and voice, and Pluto forcing the death of outdated identities, this Aquarius stellium is asking one question. Who would you be if you stopped performing for everyone else's comfort and started living from the unfiltered truth of your soul? The Sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius creates what ancient astrologers called a Cazimi, a sacred alignment where the planet is said to be in the heart of the Sun, receiving divine downloads, cosmic clarity, and accelerated consciousness upgrades. Your mind is not operating at normal speed right now. Thoughts are coming faster, sharper, more penetrating than usual. Ideas that felt impossible yesterday suddenly feel inevitable today. Truths you've been afraid to speak are rising from your throat with an urgency that cannot be ignored. This is not mental chatter. This is your higher self communicating directly through your conscious mind, bypassing the filters, the fear, the conditioning, and delivering messages you were always meant to receive. You may feel restless, unable to focus on anything that feels mundane or meaningless. You may feel compelled to write, to speak, to articulate something that's been locked inside you for years. This is the stellium breaking open your voice, clearing the pathway between your soul and your expression, demanding that you stop hiding behind pleasantries and start speaking your cosmic truth. Mercury in Aquarius operates at the speed of lightning. This is the placement of genius, of breakthrough thinking, of connecting dots that others cannot see because they're still operating within conventional mental frameworks. Your consciousness is upgrading to quantum thinking, seeing multiple timelines simultaneously, understanding patterns that transcend linear logic, accessing information from your future self and bringing it into your present awareness. If you've been experiencing flashes of insight, sudden epiphanies that seem to come from nowhere, or moments where you understand something so completely that it feels like you've always known it, this is Mercury in Aquarius opening the channels between your conscious mind and your higher consciousness. The veil between dimensions is thinning for you. You're becoming psychic without trying, intuitive without effort, able to sense energy shifts before they manifest in physical reality. This is not imagination. This is your natural state of awareness, the one you were born with before the world taught you to doubt what you could not prove, to dismiss what you could not see, to silence the inner knowing that has always guided you toward truth. And then there's Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius, the lord of the underworld, the planet that destroys everything false so that something authentic can rise from the ashes. Pluto has only been in Aquarius since November 2024 and will remain here until 2044, an entire generation defining transit that is reshaping humanity's relationship to power, technology, freedom, and collective consciousness. But today, January 21st, 2026, Pluto is being activated by both the Sun and Mercury, creating a triple conjunction that acts like a cosmic blowtorch aimed at your ego structures, your outdated self-concepts, and the version of you that was built to survive rather than thrive. Pluto does not negotiate. It does not offer gradual change. It strips away what no longer serves, often without your permission, often in ways that feel destabilizing at first, because you've mistaken your survival identity for your true self. This stellium is showing you the difference. The person you've been pretending to be is crumbling. The person you actually are is beginning to emerge. And the gap between those two realities is where the transformation is happening right now. Pluto's presence in this stellium means the transformation is not optional, not negotiable, not something you can postpone until you feel ready. You are being initiated into your power whether you think you're prepared or not. Pluto reveals what's been hidden in the shadows, what you've been avoiding, denying or repressing, because it felt too intense, too powerful, too dangerous to acknowledge. But that shadow material, those rejected parts of yourself, that raw, unfiltered truth you've been keeping locked away, that is where your actual power lives. The stellium is forcing you to integrate your shadow, to reclaim the parts of yourself you were told were too much, too dark, too weird, too intense. And as you integrate those shadow aspects, as you stop fragmenting yourself into acceptable and unacceptable pieces, you become whole. And wholeness is power. Not power over others, but power within yourself. The unshakable knowing that you are complete exactly as you are, that you don't need external validation to confirm your worth, that your existence alone is revolutionary. The Aquarius stellium is happening in the context of a larger cosmic story that's been building since the beginning of 2026. Venus entered Aquarius on January 17th, bringing a desire for unconventional relationships, friendships that feel like soul family, and connections based on shared values rather than social obligations. The Sun entered Aquarius on January 19th at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, initiating Aquarius season and shifting the collective focus from Capricorn's structure and achievement to Aquarius's innovation and authenticity. Now, on January 21st, Mercury enters the conversation, joining the Sun and Pluto to create this powerful stellium. And the energy continues to build, because Mars enters Aquarius on January 23rd, adding fire, action, courage, and the willingness to fight for your truth. By late January, you will have 5 celestial bodies in Aquarius: Venus, Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto, creating the most concentrated Aquarian energy we've experienced in over a decade. This is not a brief cosmic moment. This is a sustained awakening, a month-long initiation into a completely new way of being, thinking, relating, and existing in the world. If you are Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo, this stellium is not just touching your chart, It is rewriting your entire energetic blueprint. Your soul contracts and your destiny trajectory. You are the three signs standing at the edge of total identity reconstruction, and there is no escape, no delay, no way to avoid what the cosmos is initiating within you today. Let me explain exactly what this means for you, how this energy will manifest in your life, and what the universe is asking you to do with this transformation. Aquarius, this stellium is happening directly in your first house of self, identity, physical body, and personal presence. The first house is the window through which you experience life, and through which life experiences you. It governs how you show up, how others perceive you, and the energy signature you emit just by existing. With the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto converging in your sign at the threshold degrees, you are not updating your personality. You are undergoing a complete molecular restructuring of who you are at the core. The Sun in your sign activates your solar return energy, your birthday season, the time when your soul receives its annual cosmic upgrade. But this year is different. Mercury conjunct your Sun means your mind and your identity are merging. Your thoughts are becoming your reality faster than ever before, and what you speak into existence will manifest with shocking speed. And Pluto conjunct both the Sun and Mercury means this is not a surface-level change. This is an initiation into your shadow self, your hidden power, the parts of you that have been suppressed, rejected, or deemed too intense for the world to handle. You are stepping into the version of yourself that no longer apologizes for being different, no longer dims your light to make others comfortable, no longer hides your brilliance because people called it too much. The old you, the one who performed normalcy, who tried to fit into boxes that were never designed for your frequency, is dying. And the real you, the one who has always existed beneath the conditioning, is finally being given permission to live out loud. You may feel unrecognizable to yourself right now. That's the point. You're not supposed to recognize the person you're becoming because they've never existed in this timeline before. This is the birth of your most authentic self. And birth is messy, intense, and irreversible. People who knew the old you may struggle with the new you. They may ask what happened, what changed, why you're suddenly so different. And the truth is, nothing happened. You simply stopped pretending. You stopped performing the version of yourself that made them comfortable. You stopped editing your truth to fit their expectations. And now, for the first time in your life, you're allowing the world to see the real you, the unfiltered, unedited, unapologetic you. And some people will love this version. They will feel liberated by your authenticity, inspired by your courage, activated by your willingness to live on your own terms. But others will resist. They will try to pull you back into the old patterns, remind you of who you used to be, question your transformation as if you owe them an explanation. You don't. This is your evolution, not theirs. And the stellium is teaching you that your growth is not up for debate, not subject to approval, not dependent on anyone's permission but your own. The physical changes may be dramatic, Aquarius. You may feel called to change your appearance, cut your hair, alter your style, modify something about your physical presentation to match the internal shift happening. This is not vanity. This is alignment. Your external self is catching up to your internal transformation, and the body knows before the mind does. You may also experience health shifts, sudden energy changes, or the need to completely restructure your daily routines to support the new frequency you're embodying. Listen to your body. It's speaking the language of your soul, guiding you toward practices, habits, and rhythms that support who you're becoming, rather than who you've been. Scorpio, this Aquarius stellium is activating your fourth house of home, family, roots, emotional foundation, and ancestral patterns. The fourth house is your private world, the foundation upon which your entire life is built, the emotional bedrock that shapes how you feel safe, nurtured, and grounded. With the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto converging here, you are being asked to reconstruct your emotional foundation from the ground up. Pluto is your ruling planet, Scorpio, so when it aligns with the Sun and Mercury in your fourth house, it creates a cosmic permission slip to tear down the walls you built around your heart, to dismantle the family dynamics that taught you love equals control, to break free from generational trauma that was passed down as if it were inheritance. You are realizing that the home you've been trying to create in the external world will never feel safe until you build a home within yourself, a place where your emotions are allowed to exist without judgment, where your vulnerability is honored instead of weaponized, where your depth is celebrated instead of feared. The stellium is forcing you to confront the ways you've been living in emotional survival mode, scanning for threats, protecting your heart with walls so high that even love couldn't find its way in. But those walls are crumbling now, not because you're weak, but because you're finally strong enough to exist without them. You're discovering that true safety doesn't come from controlling your environment or the people in it. True safety comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever comes, from knowing that you can feel deeply without being destroyed by your feelings, from understanding that your emotional intensity is not a weakness to be managed, but a superpower to be honored. Mercury in your fourth house is giving you the language to name what you've been feeling, to articulate the patterns you're ready to break, to speak truths to your family that you've been swallowing for years. You may find yourself having difficult conversations with parents, siblings, or family members about boundaries you're setting, patterns you're no longer participating in, or emotional dynamics you're choosing to exit. These conversations may not go smoothly. Your family may resist your growth, may try to guilt you back into old roles, may accuse you of changing when in reality you're simply choosing yourself for the first time. Stand firm. This is not rebellion, this is liberation. And the sun is illuminating the emotional foundation you're building now, one rooted in self-trust, emotional sovereignty, and the understanding that home is not a place you find, it's a frequency you embody. You are reconstructing the very concept of what home means to you, and in the process, you are freeing generations of your lineage from patterns they couldn't break themselves. This is ancestral healing work, Scorpio. Every time you choose differently than your parents did, every time you break a cycle instead of perpetuating it, every time you respond with consciousness instead of reacting from wounding, you are healing not just yourself, but everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after you. You are the pattern breaker, the cycle ender, the one brave enough to say this stops with me. The stellium is asking you to transform your relationship with family, with home, with emotional safety, with vulnerability itself. And the transformation may require you to physically move, to change your living situation, to create distance from family members who cannot honor your growth, or to completely redefine what family means to you. Chosen family may become more important than biological family. Soul connections may feel more like home than the house you grew up in. And that's okay. Home is where you feel safe being yourself, where your depth is welcomed, where your intensity is understood. And if that place doesn't exist yet in your external world, build it within yourself first. The rest will follow. Leo, this Aquarius stellium is landing in your seventh house of partnerships, marriage, committed relationships, and one-on-one connections. The seventh house is the mirror, the place where you see yourself reflected through the people you attract, the relationships you create, and the dynamics you allow. With the sun in opposition to your sign, Mercury activating your relationship axis, and Pluto demanding transformation in how you show up in partnership, you are being forced to confront a truth you've been avoiding. The people you've been attracting are not matching your evolution. The relationships you've been tolerating are not honoring the power you've been reclaiming. And the version of yourself you've been presenting in partnership is not the real you. It's the performance of who you thought you needed to be loved. This stellium is stripping away that performance. It's showing you that real partnership does not require you to shrink, to perform, to dim your light so someone else feels comfortable in their shadow. Real partnership mirrors your power back to you, challenges you to grow, and honors the fullness of who you are without asking you to edit yourself for their comfort. Mercury in your seventh house is giving you the words to express what you actually need in relationship, not what you've been conditioned to accept. You may find yourself having conversations with partners that feel risky, vulnerable, terrifying because you're expressing needs you've never voiced before. setting boundaries you've never enforced, or articulating truths that could change the entire dynamic of the relationship. But these conversations aren't necessary, Leo. You cannot build authentic partnership on a foundation of performance and pretending. The stellium is asking you to show up as yourself, fully, unapologetically, and to trust that the right person will love the real you even more than they loved the version you were performing. And if they don't, if your authenticity threatens them, if your growth makes them uncomfortable, then they were never meant for your future. They were a teacher, a mirror, a catalyst for your awakening, but not your destination. The sun is illuminating the truth of who you are when you're not performing for love, when you're not trying to earn affection through perfection, when you're simply existing in your unfiltered magnificence. And what you're discovering is that you are magnificent. Not because of what you do, what you achieve, or how you serve others, but simply because you exist. Your worthiness is inherent, not earned. And once you truly embody that truth, your entire relationship dynamic shifts. You stop chasing people who are unavailable. You stop tolerating breadcrumbs from people who should be offering you a feast. You stop settling for connections that drain you because you're afraid of being alone. And you start attracting people who match your frequency, who celebrate your light, who honor your boundaries, who show up with the same level of commitment, honesty, and authenticity that you're now bringing to the table. And Pluto is forcing the death of codependent patterns, people-pleasing tendencies, and the belief that your worth is determined by whether someone chooses you. You are reconstructing your entire understanding of partnership, learning that the right person does not complete you. They reflect the wholeness you've already cultivated within yourself. And if the people in your life cannot meet you at this new frequency, the stellium will remove them, not as punishment, but as protection, clearing space for connections that actually match the evolved version of you that's emerging now. You may experience breakups, separations, or the ending of friendships that no longer resonate with who you're becoming. And while endings are never easy, this stellium is showing you that some relationships have expiration dates built into their soul contracts. They were meant to teach you specific lessons, to mirror specific wounds, to catalyze specific growth. And once those lessons are learned, once that growth is integrated, the relationship has fulfilled its purpose. Holding on beyond that point is not loyalty, it's fear. And you are being asked to trust that what's leaving is making space for what's coming, that the universe is clearing your energetic field so that the connections aligned with your highest timeline can finally find you. For all 12 signs, this AQUARIUS stellium is activating a collective shift in consciousness, a mass awakening to the truth that we have been living inside a collective illusion, performing identities that were assigned to us rather than chosen by us, speaking thoughts that were programmed into us rather than born from our own knowing. Aquarius rules the collective consciousness, the hive mind, the matrix of beliefs that shape reality for the masses. And when the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto converge here, they create a glitch in the matrix, a moment when the programming becomes visible, when the lies we've been told start to unravel, when the truth that's been hidden in plain sight suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. You are waking up to the ways you've been playing a role in someone else's script. You are recognizing the patterns you inherited from family, culture, religion, society, patterns that were never yours to carry but were placed upon you before you were old enough to refuse them. This stellium is giving you the clarity to see those patterns, the language to name them, and the power to dismantle them so you can build a life based on your authentic truth rather than someone else's expectations. The remaining signs are experiencing this stellium in different houses of their charts, activating specific areas of life for transformation. Aries, the stellium is lighting up your 11th house of friendships, communities, and future visions, asking you to find your soul tribe and release connections that no longer align. Taurus, your 10th house of career and public reputation is being transformed, pushing you toward a profession that honors your authentic values rather than societal definitions of success. Gemini, your 9th house of beliefs, philosophy, and higher learning is being reconstructed, inviting you to question everything you thought you knew and build a belief system based on direct experience rather than inherited dogma. Cancer, your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, and shared resources is being activated, demanding deeper vulnerability and the courage to merge with others without losing yourself. Virgo, your 6th house of daily routines, health, and service is being revolutionized, asking you to create systems that support your well-being rather than just your productivity. Libra, your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, and self-expression is being liberated, giving you permission to create from joy rather than obligation. Sagittarius, your 3rd house of communication and local community is being electrified, amplifying your voice and your message. Capricorn, your 2nd house of resources, values, and self-worth is being redefined, teaching you that your value is not determined by your bank account or your achievements. Pisces, your 12th house of spirituality, subconscious patterns and hidden truths is being illuminated, revealing the beliefs operating beneath your awareness and giving you the power to reprogram them. The Aquarius Stellium is also activating your relationship to technology, social networks, and digital communication. Mercury rules communication and technology, and in Aquarius, it amplifies our connection to the digital realm, to artificial intelligence, to collective platforms where ideas spread like wildfire. You may find yourself drawn to express your truth online, to share your awakening publicly, to use your voice in digital spaces to reach people who are vibrating at your frequency. The internet is not just a tool right now, it's a portal, a way to connect with your soul family across geographical boundaries, to find the people who understand you, even when your physical environment doesn't. Or you may feel the opposite, a sudden desire to unplug, to disconnect from the noise, to reclaim your mental energy from the constant bombardment of information. Either way, this stellium is asking you to become more conscious of how you engage with technology, how it shapes your thoughts, and whether the voices you're listening to are elevating your consciousness or programming you into someone else's agenda. Aquarius is the sign of the truth seeker, the one who questions everything, who refuses to accept surface-level explanations, who digs deeper until the real story is revealed. This stellium is activating that energy within you, making you more discerning, more skeptical, more willing to challenge narratives that don't align with your inner knowing. You are becoming immune to gaslighting, manipulation, and propaganda because your connection to your own inner truth is stronger than any external authority trying to tell you what to think. This is the gift of the stellium. It strips away the layers of conditioning, the programming, the beliefs that were installed in you without your consent, and it reconnects you to the pure, unfiltered knowing that lives in your soul. And once you access that knowing, once you remember that you are the authority on your own life, no one can convince you otherwise. Over the next 48 hours, you will notice synchronicities accelerating, signs appearing with impossible precision, messages arriving exactly when you need them, and a strange sense that reality is bending around your intentions. This is the stellium collapsing timelines, pulling your future self into your present moment, allowing you to access clarity that normally takes years to achieve. Pay attention to the thoughts that come to you in the early morning hours, the conversations that happen spontaneously, the ideas that land in your mind with such force that you know they're not yours, they're being downloaded from a higher source. Write them down, speak them out loud, act on them immediately. This is not the time for hesitation, for second-guessing, for waiting until conditions are perfect. The stellium is opening a portal of accelerated manifestation, but it requires you to move with the energy, to trust your intuition even when it defies logic, to take action on the impulses that feel electric in your body. Dreams may become intensely vivid during this stellium, filled with symbolic messages, encounters with guides or ancestors, or visions of your future self showing you the path forward. Keep a journal by your bed. The subconscious is speaking louder than usual, and the insights you receive in the dream state are just as valid as anything you access in waking consciousness. You may also experience what feels like telepathic communication with people in your life, sensing their thoughts, feeling their emotions, knowing what they're going to say before they say it. This is Mercury and Pluto in Aquarius, opening the channels of energetic communication, showing you that connection happens on multiple levels, not just through words, but through frequency, vibration, and soul recognition. You may also experience physical symptoms as your energy field adjusts to this new frequency. Headaches, pressure behind the eyes, ringing in the ears, sudden fatigue followed by bursts of manic energy, insomnia, vivid dreams, or a sensation of electricity running through your nervous system. These are not signs that something is wrong. These are signs that your light body is upgrading, that your consciousness is expanding beyond the limitations of your physical form, that your soul is integrating new codes, new information, new levels of awareness that were previously inaccessible. Rest when you need to, hydrate, ground yourself in nature, move your body to circulate the energy. But do not resist the process. Your body is recalibrating to match the frequency of the person you're becoming, and that process requires energy, space, and trust. This Aquarius stellium is not a one-day event. The energy will continue to build through the end of January as Mars enters Aquarius on January 23rd, adding fire, action, and urgency to the transformation already in motion. Mars in Aquarius is the warrior for collective liberation, the activist, the revolutionary who fights for freedom, equality, and the dismantling of oppressive systems. With Mars joining the stellium, you will feel a surge of courage, a willingness to stand up for what you believe in, a refusal to stay silent in the face of injustice. This is the energy that sparks movements, that catalyzes change, that inspires people to act rather than simply observe. Use this fire wisely. Channel it into productive action, creative projects, or advocacy for causes that align with your values. But be mindful of reactive anger, of burning bridges you may need later, of letting your frustration override your strategic thinking. Mars in Aquarius is most powerful when it's channeled with intention, when passion is combined with purpose, when the fight is for something rather than just against something. And on January 26th, Neptune enters Aries for the first time since the 1860s, shifting the collective dream from passive fantasy to active creation, from spiritual bypassing to embodied action. Neptune in Pisces, which has been the energy since 2011, taught us to dissolve boundaries, to access higher consciousness, to feel our interconnectedness. But Neptune in Aries is asking us to take that spiritual awareness and bring it into action, to embody our truth in the physical world, to become warriors for the new paradigm we've been dreaming about. The entire structure of reality is being reconfigured right now, and you are not separate from that reconfiguration. You are part of it. You are a vessel through which the new consciousness is entering the physical plane. And the more you surrender to the process, the more you align with your truth, the more powerful your impact becomes. The stellium is asking you to trust the collapse, to trust the confusion, to trust the dismantling of everything you thought you knew about yourself. Because on the other side of this death is a rebirth, so complete, so transformative, so aligned with your soul's purpose that you will look back on this moment as the beginning of your real life. The life where you stopped performing and started being. The life where you stopped hiding and started shining. The life where you stopped asking for permission and started claiming your power. January 21st, 2026 is the day the old you dies and the real you is born. The cosmic operating system is upgrading. Your identity is reconstructing. Your voice is awakening. And there is no going back to who you were before this moment. The stellium has spoken. The transformation is irreversible, and you are exactly where you need to be. The universe is not asking if you're ready. It's showing you that you've always been ready, that you were born for this exact moment, that every experience you had up until now has been preparing you for this awakening. Trust the process, trust the breakdown, trust the breakthrough. You are being reborn into the version of yourself who is so aligned with truth, so connected to source, so embodied in your power that reality itself will reorganize around your frequency. The stellium is the catalyst, your surrender is the key, and your authentic self is the destination. If this transmission activated something deep within your soul, Leave a like and subscribe to stay aligned with every cosmic shift guiding you forward. And comment, "I claim my Aquarius awakening to seal this frequency into your timeline." The portal is open, the reconstruction has begun, and your most authentic self is waiting on the other side. Trust the process, trust your truth, trust the universe moving through you. You are being reborn.